Welcome to RStreetech. This is Ritesh Srinivasan. In this video, I'll be discussing about some important metrics in machine learning. I'll be explaining about precision, recall, and F1 score with business use cases. This is also a common question in machine learning interviews. Let's get started. Let us start by looking at binary classification. So the idea here is that you have data with positive and negative classes. For example, a positive class may be a patient having COVID and a negative class is patient not having COVID. Okay, so you have a data set like this. So you can train a classification algorithm which can learn and then predict data as either positive or negative class. Okay, now with this we can actually build something called a confusion matrix. So how does the confusion matrix look like? So if you look at the confusion matrix over here, you have your actual condition, right? Here you have your predicted condition, which is the condition predicted by our machine learning algorithm. And this is for the entire population, okay? So if the positive class, as I said over here, could be that COVID is present and negative class is COVID is not present, okay? So this is on the training data, and you have actually now predicting the result of the machine learning algorithm on the trained data. You get this particular matrix, okay? So the algorithm could predict the data as either again positive or negative. So what is a true positive over here? A true positive is nothing but a sample which was actually positive is predicted as positive, right? A false negative is when a sample is actually positive but predicted as negative. Okay. For example, a patient is having COVID, is getting predicted as COVID, then it is true positive. If the patient is having COVID and is predicting as not COVID, then it is false negative. Okay. Now, what is a false positive? A false positive is a case where a patient doesn't have COVID but is predicted as having COVID. Okay. What is a true negative? A patient doesn't have COVID and is also predicted as not having COVID. Okay. So this is what is called as a confusion matrix. Okay. Now, what is a typical measure of any classification algorithm? One of the measures is accuracy. So accuracy can be computed as the number of true positives plus the number of true negatives divided by the total population, okay, which is true positive plus true negative plus false positive plus false negative. Okay, let us look at an example of a confusion matrix. So here we have 1000 samples in our data, and the positive class is cancer presence and the negative class is cancer absence, right? So we have 10 positive samples and we have 990 negative samples. Okay, so we have a machine learning algorithm which is trained to detect whether cancer is present or not. Okay, so now we ran that algorithm on this data set. Okay, and we get this kind of a confusion matrix. Okay, so again you have the actual classes, you have the predicted classes, you have the positive and the negative classes. So if you look over here, out of 10 samples which have cancer, only 2 are predicted as having cancer, 8 is being predicted as cancer is absent, right? And out of 990 samples where cancer is absent, it is actually predicting 980 samples as cancer is absent and 10 samples as cancer is present. Okay. So this is your true positive, this is your true negative, this is your false positive, and this is your false negative. Now if you do the accuracy computation over here, you see that the accuracy comes close to 98.2%, right? Now this is very good accuracy, right? But what is the flaw over here? This is a kind of an imbalanced data set, right? The number of positive classes is very small. Okay. You can even invert it and say that this is the positive class which is cancer absence and cancer presence is the minority class, right? Is the negative class. Even then it's an imbalanced data set. So in case of an imbalanced data set, the accuracy is not a good measure, because if you look at this algorithm, we are missing on 8 cancer patients over here who have cancer, but they are getting predicted as they don't have cancer, right? So this is actually a limitation of looking at accuracy as a metric for the performance of classification algorithms, right? So now let us look at what other metrics are present to evaluate the performance of classification algorithms. This is where you have this metric called precision. Okay, so what is precision in a confusion matrix, or what is this metric actually? So precision is nothing but the number of true positives divided by the number of true positives plus false positives. Okay, or you can say it as true positives divided by the sum of predicted positive. Okay, so it is a percentage of actual positives in predicted as positive. Okay, it is a proportion of actual positive in predicted as positive. So you can say that it is a percentage of predicted population, predicted positive population. Okay, so this is precision. Now let us look at what is recall. Okay, so recall, the formula for recall is true positives divided by true positives plus false negatives. Okay, so here you can see that it is true positive, which is being predicted by our algorithm, divided by sum of actual positive. Okay, so it is a percentage of actual positives predicted as positive. Okay, so it is a percentage of actuals. Now let's go back to our cancer example and then compute both the precision and recall. So as I said, precision is true positive divided by true positive plus false positive. So in this case, it is 2 divided by 2 plus 10, 12. So you get a value of 0.16. Similarly, recall is true positive divided by true positive plus false negative. So it is 2 divided by 2 plus 8, or 2 divided by 10 is equal to 0.2, right? Your accuracy is 98.2 in this case. Okay, but you see that the values of precision and recall are very small, right? Now let us look at another scenario for the same cancer example. So here what happens is that the algorithm actually predicts 9 cases as, or 9 samples as having cancer, and only one is your false negative, right? Similarly, you have 2 false positives over here. So in this case, now you see the precision becomes 9 divided by 9 plus 2. Okay, true positive divided by true positive plus false positive, it is 0.81. Okay, similarly, recall becomes true positives divided by true positive plus false negative, which is 9 divided by 1 plus 9, or 9 by 10 is equal to 0.9, right? And your accuracy anyhow increases, right? It is 99.7. But if you don't look at accuracy alone over here, you also see that the precision and recall values are much higher. So this is definitely a better performing algorithm when compared to our previous case. Now let us look at the metric F1 score. Right, so F1 score is nothing but harmonic mean of precision and recall. It is computed as F1 is nothing but 2 into P into R divided by P plus R. Okay, so in our first dataset, case 1, we see that the precision is 0.16 and recall is 0.2. So you get a F1 score of 0.17. Right, in the second case, you get a F1 score of 0.85 because precision and recall were 0.81 and 0.9. Right, so the closer this precision score is to 1.0, basically the algorithm is performing well with respect to both precision and recall. Now let us look at business use cases. So the first use case is fraud detection. Okay, so here a fraud is actual true condition or positive condition, and a non-fraud is actual negative or actual false condition. Okay, so in this case, the recall metric becomes very important when compared to precision. That is because you shouldn't miss out on a true positive, right? So all the recalls should be identified by the algorithm. So fraud should not be missed over here. It is okay to classify non-fraud as fraud and then analyze further. So the F1 score is also useful over here because it will be a imbalanced data set. If you take the number of frauds when compared to the overall number of transactions, it will be an imbalanced data set. Okay. Now let us look at the spam detection case. So here a positive class is nothing but a mail which is classified as spam, and a negative class is a non-spam document. Okay, or a non-spam mail. Now here what happens is that here precision is very important. Okay, so we cannot have a lot of important documents getting classified as spam or getting predicted as spam. Okay, it is okay for us over here to miss spam once a while. Right, so precision becomes more important than recall in this particular case, as the cost involved with the important document getting classified as spam is more than the correct detection of spam. Okay. From our confusion matrix, we can also compute a lot of other metrics. So we already know recall. Recall is also known as true positive rate or sensitivity. It is nothing but the sum of true positives divided by sum of condition positive, which is nothing but the sum of true positives plus sum of false negatives. Okay. Similarly, you have precision, which is also known as positive predictive value, which is nothing but the sum of true positive divided by sum of predicted condition positive, which is nothing but the sum of true positive plus sum of false positive. Okay. Now this is with respect to the positive class. Now with respect to the negative class, what kind of measures do we have? So we have specificity, which is nothing but the true negative rate, which is nothing but the sum of true negative divided by the sum of condition negative. So sum of condition negative is nothing but sum of false positive plus sum of true negative. Okay, so this is like the recall for the negative class. Similarly, for the negative class, you also have something like precision, which is negative predictive value, which is nothing but sum of true negatives divided by sum of predicted condition negative. So the sum of predicted condition negative is nothing but again the sum of true negatives plus false negatives. Okay, then we have F1 score, which is 2 into precision into recall divided by precision plus recall. Then you also have accuracy, which is true positive plus true negative divided by total population. Okay, now let us look at some more business use cases. So for a medical test, we would want both sensitivity and specificity to be high, right? Both are important. So recall is also important and true negative rate is also important. Okay. Now this would turn imply that you also need less false positives, right? Because for specificity to be high, the true negative rate to be high, we need to have less false positives. And for recall to be high, we need less false negatives. Okay. So with respect to rare disease data, it will be an imbalanced data set, right? Because the prevalence of the disease is very rare, right? So here recall becomes more important because we don't want to miss on, a person with a rare disease. Okay, it is more important than precision. But if you take the case of an airport security where you have some kind of a machine learning algorithm, implemented in some kind of device to detect explosives or some kind of unsafe bags, recall becomes more important than precision because every unsafe bag needs to be detected. Certain safe bags can be marked as unsafe and then you can manually look at it, but every unsafe bag needs to be detected and it cannot escape the security check. Till now we discussed about binary class classification, right? Now if you want to extend it to multi-class classification, how will you do it? How will you compute these metrics, right? So in that case, what can be done is that we can divide this problem as class 1 against all the other classes, right? Class n against all the other classes, right? Now for each of these individual class, you can compute a confusion matrix like this, right? So class 1, so any sample which is getting predicted as class 1, if it truly belongs to class 1, then it's a true positive. Now if it is getting predicted as anything other than class 1, then it is a false negative, right? Similarly, if any other sample does not belong to class 1 but belonging to all the other classes is getting predicted as class 1, then it is a false positive, right? So now we can compute the individual precision and recall for each of the classes. So I have just shown over here an example of class 1 versus the rest. Also I am shown over here class n versus the rest. Okay, now you have these individual metrics computed for each of the classes. Now to determine the final score, what can be done is that you can do something called as micro averaging, whereby you take the class frequency into account. Okay, the number of samples present in the classes. So you use the class frequency, or you can do macro averaging by taking all classes as equally important. Okay, so for macro averaging, there are two different formulas which have been used. Okay, so in one of the formula, the F score is nothing but the arithmetic mean of class-wise precision and recall, right? So class-wise precision means are taken and class-wise recall means are taken, and then the F1 score is computed. The other option is the arithmetic mean of class-wise F scores. Okay, so you can do it in either of these ways. So in this way, you can actually extend precision and recall and F1 score to multi-class classification. Now, what is precision and recall with respect to an information retrieval context? Okay, so in an information retrieval context, precision is nothing but the number of relevant documents. Okay, the intersection of relevant documents and retrieved documents divided by total number of retrieved documents. So the idea over here is that you have a set of documents which are retrieved by a query, out of which how many are the relevant documents. Okay, so for example, you are doing a Google search for a certain term, right? Now how many relevant documents are coming in the set of all the retrieved documents? Okay, so it is like relevant documents intersection with retrieved documents. Okay, so this is precision. Now what is recall in this particular information retrieval context? Recall is nothing but relevant documents intersection with retrieved documents. Okay, so the number of documents which are in this intersection divided by the number of relevant documents. So again, you can think of this as the percentage of predicted, this as percentage of actuals, and again the same F1 score can apply over here as well. Okay, so this is precision and recall with respect to the information retrieval context. In summary, the precision, recall and F1 score metrics applies to both training, validation and test set wherever ground truth is available, right? Accuracy alone is not a good measure for classification performance. Precision versus recall really depends on the business use case. These metrics can be used for both binary as well as multi-class classification. F1 score can be used to get a single measure for classification performance. If you like this video, please like the video, please share the video. If you like such content, please subscribe to the channel. Also press the bell icon so that you get notified whenever I am creating a new video. See you in the next video. Bye for now.